All right. So looking at that first problem, number 3, it says tickets for a hot show go on sale online at noon. The data in the table below represents the number of tickets remaining in the sale in minutes after the sale. So we have number of tickets remaining and number of minutes. So I think on the y-axis we would do tickets remaining. On the x-axis we'd probably do time in minutes. Or should we flip it? I don't know. That's what I did. Y-axis tickets? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's walk through on the calculator and take care of it. So again, on the calculator, I will start every problem the same way because calculators get goofy. So if we do that the same way each time, we're going to make it work. All right. So I need to reset everything. So how do I do it?
Second plus.
So second and then plus. Everyone still with me?
Yes.
7.
And then number 7. And then we want all RAM, or just enter, and then reset the whole thing. And again, that's going to take it back. Now, sometimes, if your batteries are kind of weak, it defaults your battery to a setting of like 5. So if your battery's kind of weak, I don't know if you ever knew this, but if you want to, if you can't really see your screen because it's starting to fade on you, you go second and you hold your up arrow key, push your upper arrow key, and it'll darken up your screen. Mine won't do it because mine's already set. So if you want too dark, then you just go second and down arrow. No, just hit second and then up arrow as far as you want. Just hold it, and if it goes too dark, then hit second down arrow, and that'll make your screen bright or dark. Okay. If you have really strong batteries, sometimes your screen's only like at 2 or 3, and then if you take it all the way up to 9, your whole screen gets totally dark and you can't see a thing. So just make it so adjust it so it's comfortable. So it's now reset. Things are off. I can't help you there. All right.
Are there any other?
I have 10. I don't have extra. So here we go. Let's turn on our stat plot. So how am I going to do that? So second stat, y equals number 1. Enter. And again, don't dork around and change stuff. Okay, some people get so fixated going, oh, look, I could have a plus sign. So cool. No, just default it. Okay? So once that's on, it's blinking there. You're good. Quit out of that. So hit second mode. I don't know if you knew that. It was a feature. You hit second mode. It takes you back to a home screen. So now our stat plot is on. And I don't remember if on our calculator, see, number 1 says, what type of correlation? Find the equation, identify the slope, identify y-intercept. Okay, we're good. All right. I'm putting data in, yes?
Yes.
How?
Stat.
Still with me?
Edit.
Still with me? L1 is going to be our x values. What did we decide was the x values?
5,
Yeah, the
16, 22.
time in minutes, right? So, and if you make an error, just go back, right? So 5, 9, 16, 22, 25, 31, 40, 47. Oh, clear. 40, enter.
No.
You know what I just did? I did the big no. All right. What is your answer? 40. Oh. 40. Enter. And then what was the last one? 47? All right. And then my y component is going to go into L2. $8,300. 7,400. 6,500. 6,100. 4,500. All right. Now, This is going to sound silly. This is going to sound real silly. Does everyone comprehend that 5, 920 is a point? And that 9, 830 is a point?
Yes.
8300 and 16, 7400 is a point.
Yes.
Those are all ordered pairs. It's just the calculator doesn't let you put it in as a whole bunch of ordered pairs in parentheses. They would say, hey, the x values go here, the y values go here. Make sure this x value goes with this y value as far as the point would go. And I wanted to make sure I covered that because sometimes it's like, what is this list 1, list 2? What am I even doing? So these are all x values. So if I wanted to rewrite this back as points, I'd have 5, 9200, 9, 8300, 16, 7400, etc. Does that make sense? We feel comfortable? Okay, so this is ready. We turn our stat plot, but it's ready to graph. And I know that most people will sit there and say, oh, sweet, I'm going to graph. And then you're going to be holding your hand up during the test. And you're like, And I'd be like, oh, do you remember you have to zoom, and you have to zoom to your stat, and that'll change the window so it looks like that. Does everyone feel comfortable that the slope of this line would be negative?
Yes. Yes.
So it's decreasing. So it has what kind of correlation, positive or negative?
Negative.
Good. It's negative because the slope's negative, right?
Yes.
So our y component is the number of tickets. Our x component is the minutes go on. As we continue to the right, we're getting less and less and less tickets. Right? Correct? So I want to find my line of best fit now. How do I go with it? Let's let the calculator do the work. Where do I make the line of best fit? Yay, anybody?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Can you go to y equals and then press bars?
Oh,
No, you gotta do
you're one step ahead of us.
Stat.
Stat,
Okay,
calculate,
so
line
stat,
How?
calculate,
4.
number 4. Not 8 because we're not.
Right.
Good. So if I do this, this will calculate it, and it looks like that. So right now I have a slope of negative 125, really close to a negative 126, agree? And then I have a y component, or my b value, 0, b at 9470. So the slope is negative 126 roughly. What does the slope mean in the context of this problem? What am I doing? What am I doing every minute?
You are
Reading.
I heard it. Selling 126 tickets. I'm selling 126 tickets every minute. What does the 9470 pretty much represent in this problem? That's the y-intercept. Yeah, I had originally 9,470 tickets for my event. I happen to be selling 126 of them every minute. Okay? This is now ready to plug in to graph. So help me out. Someone told me it was y equals and what?
Y equals and press bars.
Y equals, and then bars is right there. And then what?
Then you go to 5 statistics.
Number 5, statistics. And then what?
Right.
Go over to EQ. And it's under number 1, or I can just hit enter. And now it's going to store it there. It's storing it in the Y1. And now if I hit graph, it's going to do that. And this definitely shows us we have a negative correlation because the slope is negative. This seems to be a pretty good line of best fit. Now, let me challenge you on this. You told me where it crosses the y-intercept was how many tickets we had originally. We've defined what the slope is in the context of the problem. We're selling 126 tickets every minute. What does when it crosses the x-intercept mean? Go ahead.
When you sold all your tickets.
Okay, all the tickets are sold, and then you said a keyword saying when. So we're going time in minutes. So whatever the x value is here, let's say it's 35, 0. That means at 35 minutes after we started selling tickets, we have none left. Okay? I can't see the entire x-axis. If you wanted to, from here, you could say, you know what, let's zoom out. And that's going to change our window a little bit. And it's probably going to allow us to see where it crosses the x-axis. So where it crosses the x-axis is known as a what? X-intercept is known as a 0. So last step here is if you go second calculate and we want to find a 0, I need to go on the left side of here. So I'm trying to aim for this point. So I'm definitely on the left, so I can hit that as long as I'm on the left side and keep going until does it look like I'm on the right side of where that crosses? Does it look like I'm on the right side of that point right there? Yes. So enter. So you have to make sure you're above and below the x-axis, which we are. So it looks like at just over 75 minutes into our sales, we've sold out. Okay, and I don't know if it asked for that, so let's answer the questions we have. Find the equation in the line. We have it. Okay, do I expect you to write out this big of an equation for the line? I'd say like 2 decimal places is totally chill. Okay, don't write it out, oh, look, it goes 9. It must be real accurate. No. You know, whatever your slope is. And then identify the slope and explain what it represents. We've just talked about it. We're selling, it's negative 126 roughly. So it means we're selling 126 tickets every minute. We identified what the y-intercept was and what it represents. That was our initial start of tickets. Before we sold any, we had this many to sell. And then use your equation to explain the x-intercept. Well, 75.2 minutes into our sale, we're sold out. Okay? What happens at the 77th minute? Well, the phone's ringing and you're going, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're out of tickets. Ralphie the scalper will sell you some for triple the price. You're like, who's Ralphie? I don't know. Just making up people's names. All right. That page should be done. Agree?
Agree.
Name on it? Name on it?
Yeah.
Pass it forward, please.
What if I printed it off and it was double-sided? So I have both of them done.
What are you telling me?
Look.
Oh, man, you give me hardships.
Hello?
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Yep. What am I signing?
I'm going to be counseling.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I'll have the video online if you get the opportunity to watch it on YouTube.
Sorry, I was running late. I got stopped, didn't have my ID on me. So I had to go to the dean's office and get an ID stamp.
Does everyone else have their ID on? They're going to be like Cooper and be dorky and not have it.
It's on my backpack.
Oh. Give me a hard time.
I know. Right?
All right. So that one page is turned in, yes, or anything else you're turning in. Don't turn in anything later than that one page. Just 2D.
Just 2D gotcha.
Just 2D. Okay. So that reminds Coop, thanks for reminding me. On Friday, I will not be here. I will actually not be here this coming Friday and the following Friday because I'll be at the Cadaver Lab.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, baby. And if you guys are really good, I'll bring you back a spleen to play with, okay?
You should bring us a brain.
They're a little too squishy. But we do have a brain in the lab that has the eyeballs and the spinal cord attached to it. It's pretty sweet. So it's looking at you when you're holding it up going, look at that.
Like
2 eyeballs hanging down. They're like raisins. It's real. It was cut out of a human. Yes. Guarantee it's real. Yeah.
Oh wow, I forgot to get this.
Sweet. All right. Put it in the book for you.
That'd be really neat.
It is neat. I'm that dorky guy. So, but being that I won't be here, does everyone know how to get onto Schoology on your phone? If not, you know how to do it on a Chromebook. Okay. So is there anyone who's like, this is new? So if you do, this is fantastic. So what you can do is I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want to use a Chromebook, awesome. I would just ask if you use a Chromebook, make sure you plug it back in because my other periods might have to use it as well. And then if you have earbuds, awesome. Crank them. Watch the video. There'll be a packet of notes to take. It'll just be like me, but not really me because I'm not here. So, but that'll be Friday. Okay. I gave you 2E. Agreed?
Yeah.
All right. Let's pick. Which problem you want?
Can you go through correlation?
Yeah, you did teach us that.
I will.
Well, you did teach us, but like we don't have it.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to turn it on.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Cooper, pick one of them from the front page. 1 or 2. Pick one of them. 2. Somebody pick it from the back page. Yeah? What?
4.
2 and 4? Agree? All right. So let's work 2 and 4. I'm going to walk through the calculator doing the same thing that I always do. I'm going to reset it. Why am I going to reset it? It just makes it so much easier. Bless you. All right. So, ready? Second, memory. 7. 1 and 2. Reset it. It makes it so much easier because nothing's now stored in any of the lists. Sometimes when you go to add to a list, you might think, oh, I'm just going to overwrite all of these, which is great. Except the last list might have had 8 things in there, and now you're putting something with 5 things in there. So then you have this straight line that goes like this. And you're like, where'd that just come from? Because you have extra data. All right. Problem number 2 says the data below represents the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit at several elevations above sea level. So we're going to make the y component be the elevation. And should we do that way? Yeah, I like elevation being the y component and temperature being the x component. Is that okay? So nice thing is it's set up for us. We're going to turn 2 things on the calculator. Let's turn the stat plot on first. How do I do that? Second y equals. Problem number 1. Enter, and you're done. And then you can go second mode to quit out of that. Is that okay? Now let's show you how to find the, what was it, correlation value? Okay, ready? This is going to be tough. What we're going to try and do is we're going to turn something on called the diagnostics. Okay? And this is how you find it. Ready? Second. You still with me? 0. Second, 0. And it's going to be this huge list. And what you might notice is, you see how that says A? That means that the alpha command is on. So we're looking for diagnostics on. And diagnostics, I think, starts with the letter D. So what I'm going to do is I find the letter D, which is your x to the negative 1 key. You hit that and it's going to go down. We're not quite there yet, so we'll arrow down. Okay, so you hit second 0. You could arrow all the way down to the letter D to find diagnostics, but you might have a lot there. So you could hit the letter D, which is x to the minus 1, because notice it says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, so now we want to turn the diagnostics on. If you hit enter at this point, it's going to be like that. It's not on yet. Hit enter one more time, and it should say done. This now, when you do your line of best fit, it's going to give you your R and your R squared value. What happened? Oh, because you were not quite running. You wanted diagnostics. This is all new, so see how it's like that, and then hit that on. All right. You can always walk in front of the camera.
He's
awesome.
scared.
You must be hiding from the FBI or something.
I am.
They might find me. All right. We all set so far? Is this okay? The unfortunate thing is every time we reset our memory, it turns the diagnostics back off, so you can have to turn this back on. All right. So stat. What's next? Edit. What's next? List 1 is our temperature, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I got 56, 41, 23. Does everyone know that this negative down here is the negative we use? Don't use the subtraction key. Use the negative down here. I think we have all of it in, and then we go 1,000. Okay. Now we're going to go 1,000 feet, 5,000, 10,000, 5, 10,000, 15, 20, 30. Now everyone gets excited and says, "Yay, let's graph." It's not there. So when I do a what? Zoom. What? 9. So zoom stat. And looks like our data. So as we go up in elevation, our temperature decreases as we go up in elevation. Negative correlation to it? Because the slope's negative? All right, let's find our line of best fit. What's next? Not bars, we're not there yet. We need to make it stat. Calc. Number 4, because we're not. Good. I know some French kids getting offended. I'm sorry. All right, so you'll notice something a little different now. Now you have the diagnostic part. Is the R squared and the R value a part of the graph? Do you use it in the graphing process? No. No, you don't. This is my linear equation right here. Negative 279.2 is my slope. 16,431 is my y-intercept. The R squared and the R value just tell you how good our information is. So if you look at your R squared, that's 99.88, so almost 99.9. So this is like getting a 99.9% on the test. You're probably pretty happy about it. You're not going back to the teacher going, help me out. 1%, I got to figure it out. Right? So, I'm ready to graph this. Actually, let's do this. What does the slope mean in the context of the problem? So I'm dropping in the y direction. What did we say the y value was? X, the y value. Elevation, right? So every drop of 279.2 feet, our temperature is that right? I'm going for every elevation's here. So every time I drop, no. I don't see 1,000 up here. What does it say for the answer? Is the answer at the very back? It's
plus 58 plus 8. Wait. Y equals negative 0.00358x plus 58.8.
Where's the answers? In the very, very back?
No, they're on Schoology.
What?
They're on Schoology.
Are they really? They're also probably in the very back. What page is this? We are on 2E. Number 2.
They're right here, bro.
Yeah, they're on Schoology.
Oh, you know what they did?
They didn't do all the answers.
No. You know what we did and they did?
What?
Their temperature is the Y. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Ignore this. Ignore what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. You'll like this. All right, so let's do this. Second, L1, store, L4, enter. Second, L2, store, second L3. This is a way so you don't have to retype a list. So I've just stored these now. I'm going to turn this stat plot off. Turn that off. All I'm doing is I'm just flip-flopping it. And then second stat plot, I did, I have to change it on my thing. I'll turn that back on. It's on. And I'm going to do L3. L4.
Don't pay attention to what he's doing.
There. Stat. L3, and then I need to move down to L4. Zoom 9. There it goes. All right. We have the list flipped over backwards, so rather than resubmit everything in the list, we'll just do it this way. All right. Stat. I can now calculate. My linear regression. Now here's the problem. Don't pay attention to this. I have to change this. L3 and L4. All right, there we go.
So the correlation value is just R, or is it R?
So here's the answer. What's the correlation value? You have a linear component, which is R, or you have a square component, which is R squared. Which is the most desired one? It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
I had a statistics teacher tell me once, whatever one's closest to 1, use that one. And I'm like, that's really not mathematically a reason.
Okay.
That's like saying, flip a coin 5 times. Whatever flip you like best, keep it. You did help me. I got heads on the 3rd toss. Keep it then. Okay. All right. So everything's the same here except for my linear equation's different. Now take a look at my slope. My slope looks like 0.003, and my y-intercept is 58 because I flip-flopped my stuff. So what that means is for every 0.003 of a foot that I lose, my temperature increases by 1. Or if yeah, that's right. Y equals, let me clear this out, it's not there. All right, bars, statistics, equation, regression, there, graph. So being I switched my stuff, now my temperature is on the y-axis. What did my y component mean? Or what was my y-intercept? 58.79. So that's it's not a percent. So it's 58.8 degrees at an elevation of 0. What's the elevation of 0? Sea level? And then my slope. All right. You know what? I'm kind of done with this. I don't want to do these anymore because I want to get on to today's lecture. So why don't you hold off on that sheet? We'll address that a different time. And let's do some notes.
I agree. That was some BS.
2, 3, 4,
What?
5.
Yeah. No,
1,
I'm not saying what
2, 3, no 4, 5. I think you'll like this a little bit better.
Is it still graphing?
Yeah, but not like we were. Not the calculator.
No calculation.
It's so light.
So he did not do any of that. Oh, this looks better.
Dude, I brought this to my Spanish class because it was fun as class. Yeah, teacher.
Yeah, dude. Yo, man. What's up?
Oh.
I did use that. This is what my
Do you have another
No.
note sheet?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Wait, we have one right here.
Yeah.
There's one.
It's not working.
And here's one extra here.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry about that.
You're good.
All right. Here, there. Here. Here. All right. All right, I think you will appreciate this a little bit more. It's kind of a little bit of a break from the calculator. All right. All right, writing linear inequalities and equations of lines. So we're talking about greater than or less than as far as straight lines go. Whether it's a dotted line, solid line, shaded on the top, bottom, left, right, in between, things like that. So how do I graph x is less than 5 on the number line? Is it a open dot or a closed dot at 5?
Open.
Open. Am I shading left or right? So it's going this way. What about negative x is greater than or equal to -4? Solid or open dot? Solid going to the right. Everyone feel good about that? Now I think they just have this as just showing you how things would be plotted on a number line. We're not saying this is an and problem, so we don't need to necessarily write in interval notation. Cool? Okay, this slide, I have a vertical line, and then I have a shaded region. So this is, looks like -6 right here. So it's a vertical line. How do I write a vertical line as an equation? X or y equals a number? X equals a number. So I have x, -6. It's a solid line, so we'll have the equal. But I want values to the right of -6. So are those values that are larger or smaller than -6? So x is greater than -6 is our linear equation off of this. Huh? Greater than and equal to, because it was a solid line. That's why the equal to. And the x values you want larger than it, so it would be to the right. Is that okay?
Yes.
Can I move on?
Yes.
Okay. What about this one? It's a dotted line, so I don't have the equal sign. That looks like a 3 down there. So is it y and then 3? And I want values that are smaller than 3, so the y value is less than 3. Why don't I include it to be a underscore under that as well? Because it's not equal to. What I do? Oh, -3, thank you. Thank you. I was just happy because you guys were onto it this time. All right, can I move on? What kind of line do we use for these? Dotted. What kind of line do I use for these? Everyone feel comfortable with that? Okay, welcome back to Algebra 1. Can I move on?
Yeah.
Ooh, I have stuff I need to move. Stuff there. Shade above. Oh, we got that. So shade above if the line is y is greater than y equals mx plus b. And then shade below if y is less than mx plus b. Sometimes it's difficult to know what above is. Equation must be in slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b. Honestly, I think the best way to do this is just pick a quick test point. You find out which region gives you a true region. A true region is the region you shade. Okay, if you can't remember it, just pick a region and shade it. Everyone okay with that? So what do I mean by picking a test point? So this is what kind of line? Solid or dotted? Horizontal or vertical? I want values that are less than -3, so left or right. That's pretty easy to decipher. That's over there. That's shaded. But then I have this one. Is this a solid or a dotted line? Solid. Okay, so my y-intercept -5. And then up to right 3. And it's a solid line. So what's the above and below? I don't know. Honestly, I would pick a test point. What's a really good test point that's up on a graph every time you want to use it?
0.
Heck yeah, 0, 0. Now I feel that 0, 0 is definitely on one side of this line. Everyone agree? 0, 0 is definitely right here. It's above this line. Looks fantastic. Plug 0, 0 in. 0 is less than -5. True or false? 0 is less than -5. False. So this gave a false statement here, so I'm going to shade underneath my line. Again, I think the test point is the safest thing to do, saying, oh, the rules always apply to this. 0, 0 almost always works unless your line goes right through 0, 0. Then, if that happens, pick something that's either on the x or the y-axis, so you're at least plugging one of the zeros in. I had a kid years ago, he's like, yeah, but I always like plugging 5, 5 in, it always works. And I'm just looking at him going, he went to Ohio State. We had to speak slower to him, so it's okay. The Michigan fan in the room laughed to it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to say anything. You just already knew. All right.
Where did you go to college?
Arizona State.
ASU.
Yeah.
I'm a U of A guy.
Oh, I need to slow my things down. You know all you need to get into U of A is you just have to know like 3 or 4 numbers in your phone number, and you're in with a diploma.
Same with ASU though.
No, ASU, you need to know all 7 of your numbers plus the prefix.
I wouldn't say all 7. U of A is better at ASU than most sports too.
I have
Challenge.
All right. Hey, at least we're not talking about NAU, not a university, so we're all good. You gotta figure that out. That's the university in Flagstaff. All right. Hey, what's my y-intercept of this one?
0.
Okay. What's my slope? Solid or dotted line? 0, 0 is not gonna work. Why is it not gonna work? Yeah, crosses. So maybe we pick 10, 0. I don't know. 10's a real easy number to plug in, right? So if I plug that in, I'm going to get 0 is greater than 40. True or false?
False.
So it's false over here, so that means we shade over here. Cooper, you walk around like nonstop, don't you? Will someone hold his hands?
I had 2 lollipops today, so that's on the way.
Oh, okay.
He's a walking dead.
You lied to all of us.
Kids
We asked
play.
you another lollipop.
Oh. All right. Last one. Solid or dotted line?
I didn't say anything. Thank you.
Can I use 0, 0 on this one? Yeah, because it's right there. So this gives me 0 is greater than 4. True or false? False. Okay. So I shade the opposite side because over here would give me true. All right, Wildcat, do you understand what's the difference between true and false? Okay.
Wildcat.
He does this. That's his cheer thing.
Bear down.
Mine's that, buddy.
Bear down. Why would it be a sun devil?
This is Forkum from the Sparky the Sun Devil. And this is for Wildcat, WC.
Who knew?
Grand Canyon University, the Antelopes. Which is funny because that's Hook'em Horns in Texas, and that's also for rock and roll. And Grand Canyon, Southern Baptist University, they're going with this, which is very close to this.
That's like the horn problem.
Yeah. Lumberjacks, I don't know what they do. Hey, this one. Solid or dotted? Dotted. Can I use the cover method to graph this one?
Oh, yeah.
So what is x equal to?
-5.
-5. Good. What is y equal to?
2.
2. You said dotted? Cool. 0, 0 will work. Plug 0, 0 in. 2 times 0, 5 times 0. 0 is less than -10. True or false? 0 is less than -10. False. Shade up here. You know the kid that drives me nuts on this, and you're going to hear it during the test or quiz? You're going to hear this kid. Now, of course, it's nice and quiet on this. So they're doing this, and you know what this kid is? This kid has the pencil that is the smallest pencil known to man. It has the eraser that you can't call an eraser any longer because the steel sticks out. And so they're going to realize they made an error, and they're going to start to erase. And you know that metal grinding sound on top of paper on top of your desk? That's that kid. You're like, no. Oh.
He's the kid also breathing really heavily.
Why is
Oh wait, I got it.
So I covered.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, am I almost done?
2 more.
Yeah, you get it. All right. Method 2, test point. We just did this test point. Yes? We just did this test point. Does everyone feel comfortable with both of those? Okay, we just did the test point stuff. And then, how do you know where the line should be graphed? How do you know if it's solid or dashed? Okay, we've covered all these questions. How do you decide? Again, guys and girls, I really truly feel that the test point is the best way of doing these. And some people are like, well, it takes too long to do that. Really? It takes long to plug 0, 0 in or 10, 0 in? So that's about all I have for you. So that means that our assignment for next time, for those of you who choose to do it, should be 2F, which is page 37 to 39. That cool? Everyone happy?
Yeah.
Yay, I'm happy too.
It's not graphic.